Welcome to Steve McDonald Arts. I'm trying out a couple of new things today. Firstly, I'm trying out a little boom mic that I've got, so I'm hoping the volume on this is going to be okay. And if it's not, you won't know any difference because I'll be doing a voiceover to it. And secondly, I've got some pipe cleaners. So I thought they'd be quite interesting. They were quite cheap off Amazon. And I thought I'd try and use them to make some different shapes and things and see how they went, because they're quite a lot softer than a brush and they move over the Yupo paper quite well. So I've laid my Yupo paper out. I just cut a strip. I'm not really sure what size it is. It is 16 3/4 inches, 42 centimeters by 7.5 inches, which is 19 centimeters. And I've taped it off using electrical tape. And what I've done this time is, when I put the electrical tape on, I went over it with a hairdryer, so warmed it up quite a bit, and then rubbed over it with a cloth to see if that helps it stick and to prevent any loose bits or bleeding of the alcohol. I've got my homemade blending solution, which you will know how to make, which is great. From one of my other videos, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour a bit of blending solution on, go on it with the colour, and then use the pipe cleaners to see what happens. So here we go. I'm going to put quite a bit of alcohol down, I think. A few drops of this is Calabaza orange, or Calabaza orange. I've done 3 drops of that. Straight in with my pipe cleaner. I'm quite liking that. So I'm going to go in with a bit more richer because I'm only playing here to see what happens. I thought I'd share it with you. So that's straight on there now, and I'm going to go in there. Shush, shush. As well. Obviously, once the alcohol dries, it won't have that texture to it. I'm quite pleased with that. So now I'm going to go in with the Sunbright Yellow. I'm going to put a bit of alcohol down, or blending solution. A few drops of that, or squirt of that. Then I'm going to get another clean pipe cleaner. And like I said, this has probably been done before somewhere, but I've not seen it, and to be honest, I thought about it and I just want to have a go. I like playing around and seeing what happens. So there we go. I'm going to go through there as well and see what happens with that. So that's that colour, that's that colour, that's that colour. And my next one is a colour that I don't use very often, and it tells me it's rainforest green. I don't really like green. I don't know why, because I can't really see it, but I'm going to try that. So, oh, it's quite dark. So I'm going to pop that there. And again, I'm going to go in with my pipe cleaner. It's giving quite a nice wispy feel to it. Now I'm going to let this dry naturally rather than dry it with a hairdryer, because I don't want to push it around too much. So there we go. So there's the green. Put some in that corner. So, and I put the pipe cleaners next to the bottles, as you can probably see, of the colours I'm using. So now I'm going to see how that blends on top of alcohol ink that's a little bit wet. So I'm going back in now with the Calabaza orange. I've got the pipe cleaner relevant to that because I don't want to mix it up. Here comes little Lily, if you can hear some noise, because she's decided she's going to come into my studio and probably walk off with something. No, she hasn't. There's no point telling her off because, as I've told you before, she's completely deaf, and as a result she can't hear me. So now I'm going to go into this green here. I'm going to let that do its own thing for a bit. Put a few drops there of the Sunbright Yellow. I'm just going to let that move around a little bit, and now I'm going to go back in it with this. I do seem to have quite a bit of control here, which is quite nice. I would very lightly go over it there, so you can give it quite different effects as well. It's like painting with 1,000 brushes. Yeah, that's quite nice. And then I think there's already enough green on that for me to do whatever I want to do. So I'm just going to run that through there. There we go. That's too patchy there for my liking, but as I said, it may dry very differently. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run that through there. Okay, and while that's all still a little bit wet, I'm just going to take another pipe cleaner. Okay, I'm just going to do that again. And that's all I did was bend it in half, made a little loop. I'm just going to run into it. Well, it's too dry now, so nothing's really happened. So I'm going to take a bit of the blending solution and put in this Angel Delight pot, because I'm full of healthy eating. And I'm going to pour that on there. What doesn't go on the pipe cleaner will go into the pot, so I can then scooch that around. Like that. So that's just straight alcohol. I'm going to see what that does. Very lightly going over it. I think that's really, really pretty, and I'm not sure how else you would make that type of pattern on a picture. So you could use it to lift off colour, I suppose, once it's dry. Although I'm not sure why you would want to do that, unless you're like me and make a lot of mistakes. There we go. So I'm just going to leave that to dry for a few minutes. While that's drying, I shall just let you know that I have made some acrylic pour pictures, my first two, and the videos for those will be going up soon, if they've not already gone up. Depends what order I do these in, of course. And I really enjoyed that too. So I'm going to move away from alcohol inks probably for a few days or 3 weeks, and go more into acrylic. I'm just softening that off there. There's a few hard lines. Quite a lot of pigment in that green, so I'll take quite a bit off it. And these pipe cleaners are so cheap, and I think I got about 500 for a few quid. That actually, you know, you could use a clean one each time. I think I might put a bit of that colour into there, a little bit, because it's on there, so it's making it quite wispy. It's not my favourite colour, I have to say. There we go. So let that dry off a bit, and then we can take off the tape. So let's just make sure these edges are, sometimes it does stay a little bit wet on the tape. It may have bled there, I'm not sure. There's a lot of alcohol there. Put quite a bit down there. Let's see how that does. That's cleaned, that end's quite clean. Now, as I've showed you on previous videos, you can get rid of that ink quite easily by using a bit of alcohol or blending solution on a Q-tip and then just rub it onto it like that, and it will almost disappear. I always dry it afterwards with the other end because I don't want it to blend into my picture and ruin my picture. There we go, there's the other one. And I never go quite up to the edge either. Now if you can't get it off with alcohol, you can always go over it with some white paint around the border, but that does seem to have done a good job there. Just do this edge. And there we go. So a nice quick and easy picture, bit of texture in it, using alcohol inks. I think that's blended in quite nice for this technique. I'm really pleased with it. I think I'm going to have another go at that. And some smaller bits at doing some flowers. So I'm going to use the yellow, the Sunbright yellow. I'm going to do the same sort of thing here. And these are just going to come through here like this. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to put a bit of, tiny bit of rainforest green on there, like so. And see if we can get, I'm just going to let that spread out a bit. I'm going to use the other end of this pipe cleaner, fold it over. I'm going to go in there. So there we go. I'm just going to bring a few of those bits through here like that. Okay, so I've still got the Sunbright yellow on here. I'm just going to put a few lines in that. Yeah, I think that's made quite a nice flower. If I'm honest, I might even try and see if I bring in a little bit of that green onto there as well. Yes, that's done quite a nice flower. I'm going to put that one there. I'm going to have a go at doing a different type of flower this time. So I use a square a bit. So I'm going to do a dot in the middle, and rather than do down like that, which is like a downward facing flower, I'm going to go out with this. So as it's drying on the pipe cleaner, you can get quite wispy bits coming off nowadays. Alright. Okay. So then I'm going to put a bit of the black in there, in the middle. Tiny bit of black in there. There we go. It's not quite the middle, I can see. But it doesn't matter. There's a tufty round the edges, lightly. Okay. And then I'm going to use a tiny bit of blending solution on something. What am I going to use? To just create some very small dots. I know what I'll use. I've got a very, very fine brush. I'll use a tiny bit of alcohol there. I'm going to rub it off first and put a few dots in it. Randomly around. Okay, then I'm going to use a little bit of the green to kind of do some bits behind it. Oh, I'm not getting very good at doing these dots. Maybe too much alcohol on this little brush. That's a bit white. Let's break them up. There we go. So I'm now going to use a little bit of the rainforest green here, and I think that one's got, I don't know what colour that one's got on it now. I'll put a little bit on here. Okay. Yeah, well, you mind not stealing things from this black I'm putting on here. So, and I've put quite a lot on there, so I'm drying it off on a tissue first because I want to run that through here. Like this. And as you can see from the pipe cleaner has made these lovely little soft lines. A bit more care over it than I am. There we go. I'm quite liking that. And now I'm going to go over it again with a bit more Sunbright Yellow to see if I can get a bit more texture in that. Hey, there we go. A clean bit of paper, a little bit in more in this. Lighter, if you press on it quite lightly, you are getting quite some nice lines. Okay, and now I'm going to go into it with a bit of just plain alcohol, but using that same pipe cleaner that I used before, and I'm going to take off quite a lot of the alcohol, but I want to make sure it's saturated, so I want to try and get in here with it as well. There we go. A pipe cleaner flower. So I'm going to zoom into that now so you get a better picture of that. There we go. Let's lift it up as well. I'm really quite pleased with that, and I think that's really sweet. And there's the one I did earlier. So that one is more of a, I don't know what you would call that, narcissus, I suppose, daffodil. More of a, not a sunflower, but maybe a chrysanthemum or something like that, or a daisy. And this is just the practice that I did to see how it went, and I quite like that picture. And now that's dry, I think that's come out quite nice too. So let's zoom back out. There we go. So there we go. That's literally alcohol inks, tiny bit of homemade blending solution, and obviously my good old faithful free Angel Delight cup, pudding cup thing, and pipe cleaners. I'm really pleased with that. I think that's come out really well. So thank you for listening to Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, please subscribe, and please leave a comment. Thank you. Bye.